Welcome to another Inside the Hashes exclusive interview. I'm Sam Kirk, and today we're joined by nose tackle from Coastal Carolina, Jerrod Clark. Jerrod, it's been great. It's great having you on today. How you been?
I've been pretty good. Just trying to get ready for the season, physically and mentally.
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of start. Maybe you could just kind of briefly, share your story and some of the things you maybe had to overcome just to get to where you are today.
I've been playing football since I was 7 years old. It was one of those sports where I kind of didn't know if I wanted to get into it. My father kind of pushed me into it and told me just keep giving it another shot. And eventually I kind of just fell in love, and football became my first love as a sport. Came to college as a tight end, and just, life kind of just took a toll on me. Gained the weight, made the transition to defense. I've been playing nose tackle. It was in 2021. I had surgery on my back. I had a herniated disc. The process for that was, I want to say, a 3 month and a half journey. Just recovery and just trying to work my way back into the rotation for playing and stuff like that. That's probably my biggest adversity that I faced, was just my back surgery, not knowing whether I'm gonna be able to play or not, and not even knowing if I'm gonna be able to play, but not knowing if I'm gonna be able to play the same. And that was kind of a constant worry through me throughout the whole season. It's like, maybe it's this play that my back might give out. But, I fought through it. The training staff, strength coaches, and the coaches themselves all helped me keep my head straight and just try to stay focused on the season and try not to worry so much.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll kind of circle back to how you came in at Coastal and recruited as a tight end, and now you're playing nose tackle. Do you sometimes, miss playing on that offensive side of the ball and, having a role blocking and both catching and running? I'm sure there's a part of you that still misses those high school days. Watching those highlights, you can tell that, you loved running the football and you loved when the rock was in your hands and, the game was in your hands. So, kind of reflect back and maybe talk about how that's helped your defensive side of the ball, defensive IQ too.
Tight end wise, I miss it sometimes, but I miss the feeling of scoring a touchdown and just the whole stadium just cheering for you and stuff like that. But then you kind of get rewarded on defense too when you make a big play and you get a big stop. So it's I miss it sometimes, but I also feel like I'm not missing out on anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get that. So we'll kind of also circle back to, it's obviously tough already if you're trying to switch positions, and I think they tried you out of offensive line at one point as well, and then you have these injuries that have just, kind of kept you off track, and, can you talk about how that's almost made you mentally stronger in a way, and, how you dealt with rehab and how you mentally got through it all?
Well, coming out of high school, just coming from being that guy that was everybody was going to, and then come to a college and, there are guys who are better than you, who are the best at their own high school. And it's kind of humbling. At first it was humbling, maybe I got to just wait my turn. And then everything just felt like it was falling apart. And I mentally, I don't think I fully gained my mental strength until maybe the summer of 2020, during COVID. It was just that's when kind of life really hit, when you couldn't really go outside, you couldn't go to a gym because everything was shut down. It was well, what's gonna be the excuse now? Am I gonna just sit around and just let the pandemic keep me inside, or can I figure out ways to work out in my room or work out outside and just keep myself in shape? And then my dad, he played a big part, in my mental health, just motivating me to give it another shot, because I was ready to quit, honestly. Nothing was going my way. Injuries just was a factor that just kept coming back in, one after the other. And I was just maybe just college football isn't for me. And my dad kind of motivated me to keep going and just give it another chance. And then eventually I started to, slowly fall in love back in, with football. and just being able to be a part of the team, that went 11-1, and it became so surreal. So I think my mental health really progressed during COVID, and then I kind of hit like a relapse, kind of hit like a wall when I had back surgery. The doctors telling me I might not be able to play again, or I might not be able to play the same. It's just never knowing what the next step is going to be. It's like every 10 steps I take, it was like I'm getting set back 100, and it just felt like the path that I was supposed to be on just felt like it got longer and longer. But, just with my family and my coaches and my teammates just motivated me to fight back and just prove the doctors wrong. I think that's where my mental health really started to become stronger. It was just trying to prove the doctors wrong, and I think that kind of rolled over into the season.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a great mentality to have, and it seems like you still carry that with you. Was it very difficult at first when you're trying to, and you're put in spots and big spots for your team on the defensive line, as just knowing the playbook? How was that transfer just for you? Did it take a while, or were you surprisingly just very motivated to, give it a chance and kind of, like you said, power through?
My first year after the switch, it was pretty hard. Only because I was injured and I knew I wasn't playing, so I know I got to take responsibility for that. I didn't really put as much effort into learning to play, but because I knew I was basically going to be out for the season with a foot injury. And then, when I got the opportunity to actually be playing, I was like, now let me start taking this serious, let me get in the playbooks. Every time we went over play, I would retrace the play in a notebook, or I write it on a piece of paper just so I could mentally have a picture of the plays going on. And now it's like I know the plays like the back of my hand because I spent so much time studying the plays. And I'm always asking my coach, well, on this play, I know this is what we're supposed to do, but can I do something a little different? And sometimes he might say yeah, other times he probably said no.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now I'll just ask you, how was just, being a part of this amazing kind of run that you guys had as a team, and it's a lot of energy being brought to your program. How do you think you personally affected that in a positive way, and how do you see the future of Coastal Carolina this coming up season and even after you're gone?
Honestly, I feel like because I was a part of a team that went 5-7 twice, even though I didn't play, I was just a part of that atmosphere. I knew what it took to become a winner, and I know what it took to continue winning and just keep building on the legacy that our seniors have set. Our seniors created a foundation, and I feel like just watching their leadership and watching their sacrifices, I feel like I can add on to our legacy and keep building on the foundation that's already set. Honestly, it's ideal to say I was a part of, but I feel like I kind of just took a role within, my first year we went 11-1. I feel like I just took a role, just kind of filling out, because I hadn't played football, live, wise, in 3 years. So I kind of 2020, I kind of just took a role player seat. And then last year, I tried to become more vocal, but with so many seniors, I kind of just took another backseat on that too, and only spoke up, when I felt like it was completely necessary.
Yeah, I get that. So now are you looking forward to this upcoming season and, your chance to, make your mark as a leader on that defensive side of the ball?
Absolutely. Right now, I'm in a mental space where I'm more so trying to prove myself. Before I was kind of just trying to live up to everybody's expectations, and sometimes I feel like I came short. But right now, I'm in a space where I'm playing to prove to myself that I'm as good as I think I am, or I'm as good as what everybody else thinks I am, or even better.
Yeah, no, that's great. Another way that you seem to look at things, and now kind of just detail more into your game here. Is there anything that we wouldn't see on tape that you think is, pretty unique about your game, especially at the nose tackle position, that makes you, a threat?
I honestly think my first step, just for being my size, I hear it a lot. It's just my first step is pretty fast, and just that first impact, I don't mind slamming into the offensive lineman, just creating havoc if that means the person behind me gets open. I feel like I'm a very unselfish player, the main goal is to win. And if I gotta, sacrifice my goals or whatever, or like, if I sacrifice a tackle by just creating havoc for somebody else to make it, then that's what I'll do. But I honestly feel like my first step is probably my best attribute, and just my strength, is probably an addition to my first step.
Yeah, no, just causing havoc. I see it. I get it. Now I'll kind of just go more into the the coaching schematics of Coastal, and like, how are those assistants and how is that medical staff really just help you get to a position where you're confident, you're playing good football, and now you could really focus on your game and just getting your defense more ready for the season and becoming a better player yourself.
So when I first got hurt, I was constantly in the training room, like twice a day, and it became a habit where I would pop in even when nothing was wrong and just still work on treatment that I got when I was injured, just in case like there might be something that's there, but I don't notice it because it's not as painful. We always have team meetings when the staff comes in and they emphasize being hydrated during the summer and stretching so we don't pull muscles. And then we have a team nutritionist, and she breaks down the importance of eating before workouts, eating after workouts, what's the proper things to eat to, really fuel your body. And I feel like, just those guys who we don't really necessarily get enough credit because, their role is so much off the screen. I feel like they put us in a great spot, to be successful because they get us the right treatment that we need for any injury we have, or they give us the best advice, whether we want to lose weight or gain weight, add on muscle, and everything that comes in between. And then, just all around, great staff from coaching down to nutritionists to strength coach and, the athletic trainers too.
Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely seems like you see it a lot, much clearer now, and it's definitely a thing to consider in a daily setting. So now I'll kind of ask you, I'm sure as you're growing up playing tight end and you're just mixing up probably on both sides of the football from Massachusetts, what football team did you kind of grow up with? Who are some of the guys that you just made you fall in love with the game, like you said?
The Patriots, just being from Boston, Patriots is kind of like the automatic first team, that I ever fell in love with just watching football. And it was kind of Vince Wilfork that I first seen. I was just like, this dude's just so big, and he just creates havoc, and he just allows other players to be successful and put himself in the best position. I was like, man, I never seen somebody do that much. A lot of the game, pays attention to the offense, the guy scoring, catching the ball. But seeing Vince Wilfork create havoc was kind of like, okay, maybe I can do that. So sometimes I watch his highlight tapes from his early days with the Patriots before a big game, and I'd be like, all right, if I could just step as hard as he is and create as much havoc, then maybe I can have the same success.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a great answer. When you think of him, you think of the things you said, the hard step, the contact, and, just making things happen and discombobulating the offense. So I'll have to hint on your basketball career now, and maybe we'll get a finals prediction out of you since you mentioned your Boston ties. But, playing basketball in high school, being that overall athlete, do you think that's helped you in the college days, just, working out all year round now, so there was no big break, and maybe talk about how basketball and football might translate into one each other?
I think the footwork piece from basketball and football, it kind of goes hand in hand because you need a certain type of footwork to really play basketball. And I feel like I got to use that in basketball, being light on my feet, being able to make a move fast. And I kind of owe that to basketball, and just being able to keep my legs kind of active all year round between August to December or whatever, and then January all the way to July is just kind of like a year round for, I think, my sophomore year all the way up until my senior year. Actually, I'm lying. My 7th grade year all the way up until my senior year of high school was just a multi-sport person, always active, just always trying to be outside. Even when it wasn't in season, I was always going to the gym, just playing pickup runs with my friends, anybody who was local. And that's pretty much how I got myself like really active and just being on my feet and seeing how fast other guys move. I kind of like try to mimic what they did, and it kind of just became natural to me, and it just added into like my everyday work.
Yeah, for sure. How about a finals prediction now? What are you thinking here? Are you a big Celtics fan, or never really got into basketball? Big Celtics? Okay.
Absolutely. You know me, I posted on Twitter, Celtics in 6, but I wouldn't be mad if they win in 5.
No, I'm sure you wouldn't, but I don't think that's a bad prediction. Season 6, I could definitely see that. If they get them at home, that would be a phenomenal experience for Boston and Boston sports. I'll kind of wrap this up, but it's soon. But we got a few more questions. Are there any hobbies or just things that like we wouldn't know about you, non-athletic wise, that maybe you like to hit on, or just stuff when it's just you and yourself sometimes?
I really like to listen to music when I'm not watching TV or I'm not playing the video game. Like I play Fortnite and Madden, whenever I got the free time to do it. But a lot of times I spend most of my time just listening to music, and I could just let the music play and I'll just lay there. I'll play a game on my phone, or I just lay there in silence and just let the music play. And it kind of creates like a calming vibe for myself. Often you might see me like start doodling, like I might sketch here or there. It's really rare, but it happens more than you expect.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
I really have like so growing up, my parents were like big on like R&B and soul music. I didn't really get a chance to listen to rap until I pretty much got older. So now it's like R&B is kind of like my love. Like I rather listen to R&B before I listen to a rap song all day. I think music's probably my biggest hobby. Listening to music, drawing, and playing video games. And I'm a big movie guy.
Okay.
I probably watch more movies than I've watched TV shows.
What's the last movie you watched? That might be a tough question.
Sonic 2.
Sonic 2? How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Not too bad?
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. So now I'll ask you, since you kind of hit in at that music question, just to wrap things up, a little fun question. If there was just one artist, your favorite guy, just if you can name one, and name another artist, potentially could be the same person, but that you compare to your game, if that's like a flow standpoint or just somebody that has that energy and that spunk.
Well, I'm not a rapper, but my favorite rapper is Jerrod.
Okay.
That's before every game. I'm always listening to at least 12 of his songs, at least like 12 of his songs at minimum before I get on. It's just he brings a type of energy in his music that really gets me like pumped up, and I kind of feel like more locked in. I'm trying to think. No,
that's a great answer.
Yeah, I think that's the go-to right there.
Yeah, no, it seems like you love yourself some J Herbo. Jerrod, it's been great speaking to you today. Hope you enjoy our little conversation, and thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.